All right, so welcome. Today I want to create this image. Basically, I want to have a point here that will slide across from this corner A across the way to the center point F. Now, as this is happening, point H will slide along with G so that it's a fixed distance. Okay, and take a look. The distance is from A to, what is that, F. So this is going to be already pre-measured, basically. But this point G won't go past F. And then I'll have the effect I want for my construction this week. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just delete everything. Okay. So just get rid of everything. And so I'm going to start with my regular polygon. I'll make it maybe about that big and make it 3. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add the midpoints here on the edge, here on this edge, and here on this edge. All right. Once I have that, what I'm going to do, let me see here. Let me make this a little bit bigger and bring it down. All right. So once I have that, what I'll do is I am going to create a segment that goes from A to F. So it's going to go from A to F. Now, that particular segment's name is going to be called I. So I know that's this one here from A to F. All right, that's going to be important later. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hide the polygon for now. Click here. This is the poly one, so hide it. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a point on this segment, just randomly. Okay. Now the thing about it is that I needed to hide the polygon because that way I make sure that only this segment is chosen, not the segment for the base of the triangle. And what that will do is that it makes it so that this point is stuck between A and F. Okay. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to use the segment length I as my ruler. And so what I'll do now is I'm going to create a circle with a center and a radius. Now what this will do is that it allows me to tell the computer the size of the radius of the circle that I want to use. So I'll click here. G is the center, and the radius is going to be the same length as segment I. So in here, I'm not going to put a number, I'm just going to put the letter I. And it has to be lowercase because they have to match. Okay. Now I'm going to test it. And so what that does is I should have a circle. But if you look at the radius here, from the center to the edge, it measures I. If I were to go from here to the other side, since F is the midpoint there, then from here to here, that radius would be the same, which is also I. Right? The next thing I want to do is I want to create a line, not a segment, a line that goes from G, which is my movable point, all the way across to B, which is the other side. Now, the reason I want to do that is because then I'm going to follow it up with a segment. And the segment is going to again connect at G, but it's going to go at the intersection of this circle with the line I just made. So right here in the corner. And that's going to be called H. And now, once I have all that, this is what I'll do. I'm going to hide my line. I'm going to hide the circle. And I'm going to hide the original segment I, because I don't need it anymore. Now, what I should have is I should have this point G and point H, and they're equally spaced. Now, the thing is that this new line segment called K should now be the same size as the one I had earlier from A to F, and it does. And right here, it does. All right, So now that I have that, I don't really need the segment. I just need the distance between them. So I needed point G and I needed point H. I needed point H to be a certain distance away from G. So what I'll do right now is I'm going to hide this segment, which is K, lowercase k, and I'm going to bring back my polygon. And now what I'll do is I'm going to start connecting dots. Okay, so let me do this first. I'm going to space it out. These are now kind of spaced out evenly. I'm going to go ahead and make my first line here. Then I'm going to create my perpendicular from here, this midpoint, to this line. And this would have been my other midpoint from the construction last week. So H over to this line. Now, if you notice, this will now resemble what we had last week. I make a segment there and a segment there. I hide and I hide. So now I have practically the same object that I had last week, except that now I have the illusion where this will change position, and I can literally take this point now and I can make it slide from side to side. Now I can add my rotations on each of the shapes so that it goes from a square, from a triangle to a square, or by just changing one detail for it to go from a triangle to a rectangle of different sizes. And that's it. That's the construction. Okay, hopefully it made sense. All right, see you in class.